This one's Sky News, and let's get into it. This one's related to JD Vance.
And it's time for Lefties Losing It. Let's start with this disgusting display by lefty losers at what should have
Let's
been a
see.
somber moment as Vice President JD Vance and
Oh,
Usha Vance attended the Annunciation Catholic Church in Minneapolis in remembrance of the victims of last week's shooting.
oh,
But idiot lefties had to hijack the moment.
oh my God.
Do better! You're a coward! Do better!
Oh my God. It's just two annoying losers commemorating these people and what happened in that event. And then these guys just can't help but scream like goddamn pigeons everywhere.
And I'll have more on JD Vance later. But first, let's check in with Joy Reid, who's gone from taunting people in tears to being in tears.
Oh
Wipe
yeah.
your own tears, and for God's sakes, stop whining. It's embarrassing.
Oh my
I'm
God.
sorry. That what I was doing had value.
Oh my God. I hate that. But yeah, like, I can tell she's not genuine. This is not genuine tears. This is just her trying to make you feel bad for her and using crocodile tears as a means to do it. Oh, this is the most annoying tactic by a bunch of losers who usually want to take advantage of others by making them feel bad for her. Don't feel bad for her. She had her show for God knows how fucking long. She's probably a multi-millionaire by now, and she's crying about losing her show. Oh, how great. Fuck you. Get out.
No, your show never had any value other than for my segment. Now, just last week, Joy Reid was claiming white people have never invented anything. Well, her latest claim is
Oh, God.
admitting that she's a product of DEI and she's proud of it.
As many
Oh, my
times
God.
as I have been called
Yep, middle-aged white women created DEI. Next thing you know, this girl that benefited from DEI is saying they created nothing at all. She benefited from DEI, which is why she likes it. And she doesn't care at all that it was invented by middle-aged, annoying white Karens.
DEI or an affirmative action baby and all that. You know what
Mhm.
I never get? Mad. Because I actually am very much in favor of DEI.
Oh,
I don't
God.
take that as an insult because I understand that that means that I'm just damn excellent and innovative. And yeah, I am DEI. I'm bringing diversity and that's bringing something great. You're not insulting me. If you say, oh, you're an affirmative action person that got into Harvard, I'm like, yeah, I got into Harvard with affirmative action and Yale and Brown and also, Vassar,
Oh, my God. This is the equivalent of you being carried by someone who's better on your team in Call of Duty and then celebrating that you're the best when you got 4 kills and 8 deaths and they got 20 kills and 3 deaths. And you're saying, oh, great job, team. We won. Man, we did so great. It's like, no, you did absolute shit. He carried you there. And the only reason it's considered a victory for you is because he was on your team, carrying you. You were nothing but a downside the entire way of the game. That's what you are.
the University of Denver.
Yep, some bright, hard-working young Asian probably missed out on the opportunity of a
Yeah.
lifetime, so Joy could take advantage of DEI. And what an education she received. This mad banshee is now claiming that Donald Trump was never shot. It's one thing to have these crazy thoughts in your head, Joy, but she's sharing them on the World Wide Web. Here she is with fellow former MSNBC host Katie Vang. And folks, get ready
Yeah.
to be assailed by a weapon-grade crazy.
Let's
He's
see.
got these magical doctors who claim that he was shot in the ear, but his ear, I guess, grew back. He had a Duplo bandage on one minute, no bandage the next. We can't get a medical record from this alleged assassination. He was supposedly shot. We have nothing. We've got nothing.
Where's the investigative? Where are the investigators?
The only thing I agree with her is that we pretty much got no information on Trump's shooter after he was arrested. Meanwhile, like, if you see any other shooter, all the everything that about them pretty much comes out instantly. We know everything. We know what they are. We know their beliefs. We know their manifesto. We know all that stuff. But this was one of the cases where once he was found, basically no information, nothing new since.
records. One day he slaps this maxi pad on his ear. The next day the ear is totally fine.
It's fine. And I remember being in mainstream media where
Called
we both used to
healing.
work, saying, isn't it odd that we've never asked for his medical records? And I got in trouble for that. The mainstream media isn't demanding his medical records. They're not demanding anything. They're terrified.
He
of
was
this
literally
man.
shot
And
on
now
TV.
that people are speculating that he might have died. We only get that online, but mainstream media is acting like everything's fine. He seems fine to me.
You took 2 days off.
Fine, Joy, your crazed fantasies and wishful thinking are not substitutes for facts. Now to the man who could have been vice president, the uniquely awful Tim Walz, Tampon Tim. Here he is talking about the false reports of Donald Trump's death, and he tells his sad supporters to remain hopeful that the president will die. What an utterly hideous human being this commie weirdo is.
Let's see.
You get up in the morning and you doom scroll through things, and although I will say this, the last few days you woke up thinking there might be news. Just saying. There will be news sometime, just so you know, there will be news.
Hideous stuff. Even Stephen Colbert, yes, the stage 4 TDS sufferer Stephen Colbert, made it clear to his audience that no decent person hopes for the president to die.
This weekend,
And that is
the
true.
biggest story was frenzied social media rumors speculating whether Donald Trump had died.
He took 3 days off,
For the
man.
record, Donald Trump is very much alive, okay? And no, we like our presidents alive.
That is true.
Donald Trump is very much alive, and this whole crazy rumor started simply because Trump had 0 events on his schedule Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday.
Yeah.
And the man who wants to be the next Democrat president, and he is a front runner because the Democrats have a dangerous
Gavin
talent
Newsom.
pool. And Gavin Newsom, like any good lefty, isn't above whipping up hysteria and indulging in all sorts of lies and hyperbole.
Let's see what he
I
did
don't think
this time.
Donald Trump wants another election. You think for a second you want... I have 24 Trump 2028 hats.
Oh, yeah, that's a joke. The Trump 2028 hats are most likely going to be used when JD Vance runs for president. They're not actually going to be used for Trump. They're going to be Vance 2028 or maybe Trump Vance 2028. But who knows?
His folks keep sending me.
Yeah, it's a joke. There's people literally the past God knows how many years wanting Obama to have a 3rd term because apparently they thought he was that good. And nobody said shit about that before.
There you go. There'll be no more elections because there's a baseball cap with Trump 2028 on it. It's a joke, Gavin. That's why people are sending it to you. And he wasn't done there. Here he claims that Donald Trump does not want immigrants to vote in 2028.
Oh, God.
You think ICE is not going to show up around voting and polling booths to chill participation? You know that. The National Guard, you know that. Everybody.
Oh, my God, Gavin Newsom. Whenever a guy like him says immigrants, he doesn't specify what they are because he wants to muddy the waters enough for you not to know what he's talking about. When he talks about immigrants, he basically wants you to think illegal immigrants are exactly the same as nationalized citizens that moved here and got citizenship. He wants to muddy the water between both of those so you don't know which ones he's talking about. So then you get overly emotional, overly scared, and then you get radicalized by stupid ideas like that. But what they're actually going to do is they're going to get all illegal immigrants out. Like, if you have an ID, if you're a citizen, you'll be fine. You will be fine. Or if you're a permanent resident, you'll also be fine. But if you're an illegal alien in this country when you're not supposed to be, you already broke the law. You're not supposed to be here. And you're definitely not supposed to be going near a voting booth. Because you're not representative of America. You're a guy who broke in, is taking advantage of the social welfare, and expects everyone to carry you up. Like, you have to go back. You did it the wrong way, you disrespected our laws, and you have to go back to whatever country they send you, or you want to be sent to.
Knows what's at stake, so we have to put a stake in the ground and do things differently.
Did Gavin just admit something there, that illegal immigrants may in some cases be voting? Because legal migrants have zero to fear from ICE.
Exactly.
They're not intimidated, and Various polls have shown that they are, in fact, in favor of Donald Trump's
Yep,
deportation program. Now,
I
whoever the
agree.
Democrat candidate is, they're likely to face one of the very best politicians in US history. It's a big statement, I know, but JD Vance is the whole package. His
Yo,
intellect,
he
his
is.
conviction, his personal history and achievements, his beautiful family. He is the perfect candidate. And the
Yeah.
media still haven't worked that out.
Not only that, but like, not only that, but like, he doesn't really have any personal scandals or anything that tells you anything bad about his character. He is JD Vance, and dude, he's doing great. The worst news on him was he took 8 days off. That was the biggest scandal he's had. Like, JD Vance, I want him to be the next president. He's gonna do great.
They think they can take him on. The media are slow learners, and that's certainly the case when it comes to NBC. Here is host Krista Welker trying the old people are saying routine with JD Vance regarding the raid on warmonger and serial leaker John Bolton's property. The VP
Oh
wasn't
my
having it.
god. Thank
You
God
know,
they
a lot
got
of
that man.
people have already looked at this and said, this looks a lot like retribution. Is this retribution?
Well, who has
Bro, no, John Bolton needed to be out. Hopefully, they also get Dick Cheney, because he was also part of the Bush administration's, like, stuff like that. But if they got John Bolton, that's a good first step. We'll just have to see if they get the rest of them.
said it looks a lot like retribution, Kristen? A lot of people who tried to throw Donald Trump in prison for completely fake charges that were later thrown out by multiple different courts.
And the Vice President explains here about the impact illegal immigrants have on elections because they are counted in the census. And that costs American citizens real representation.
We had way fewer House seats than we should have. One, if the Democrats hadn't aggressively gerrymandered, and two, if illegal aliens weren't counted in the census for purposes of apportioning congressional seats. The best estimates I've seen is that in California, for example, has 5 additional congressional seats than it should have because they count illegal aliens for the purpose of apportioning representatives. Meanwhile, Ohio, my home state, lost a representative. We're literally losing representatives for American citizens in order to give congressional representation to illegal aliens. Republicans are trying to balance out the scales a little bit for basic fairness and for the integrity of our democracy.
Joining me now is Newsweek's
Let's
Senior
see.
Editor-at-Large and Article 3 Project Senior Counsel Josh Hammer. Josh, that trend is undeniable. Having illegal immigrants counted in the census makes a difference, a big difference that undermines America's democracy.
Yeah, Rita, it's really positively abhorrent, is it not? You know, I mean, there's an interesting constitutional legal debate here as to whether or not it should be only citizens or green card holders, legal permanent.
Oh, yeah. Here's what I think. Permanent residents, yes. Citizens, yes. Anyone with a legal visa, that's the area where we get into maybe, maybe not. But anything below that standard should be no. Illegal immigrants, no. Like, pretty much none of that. Pretty much none of that. Just the people who are permanent residents, citizens, and maybe like on a very long-term visa. But that should be all.
Residents there. That's actually a somewhat interesting 14th Amendment legal debate. But the notion that illegal aliens, people who are in this country illegally, that they should be counted as persons for purposes of apportionment. They're literally, as a legal matter, they're literally not here. I mean, they might physically be here, but legally under the eyes of the United States Constitution, under the eyes of our government, under the eyes of the rule of law, they're not here. They shouldn't be counted. And JD Vance is right that blue states have historically disproportionately benefited from this practice. Now, it's interesting. Donald Trump actually made a move to change this practice back during the first term there. He was stopped by John Roberts and a 5-4 majority of the U.S. Supreme Court. It was an utterly preposterous ruling. At the time, I thought that Donald Trump should seriously consider basically just sticking 2 middle fingers to the Supreme Court and just outright defying the order. He didn't do that there, but now he has another opportunity to try to go for it there. This is something that frankly should have been done a very, very long time ago.
I agree.
And I look forward to seeing it getting done, ideally post-haste here.
And the 14th Amendment was the one that made slaves like actual citizens of America. And I believe it was intended only for slaves, but these people use whatever little loopholes they can to make it seem like anyone who just has a baby here is an American. Even if they're illegals, they didn't come here the right way, and they broke every law in order to do it. But yeah, that's pretty much all for now.